Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our next episode of the Euros here. Today we have our first match from Group C. We have got Nikolai Volkoff going one-on-one against Pete Dunne, Croatia versus England. So without further ado, let's get into the battle. All right, it should be fun. So Volkoff there representing Croatia. Pete Dunne representing the UK, and I think well, Pete Dunne representing England, shall I say, because Scotland, Ireland and that are all separate on this. I feel like Nikolai Volkoff could be a very dark horse in this one. A lot of people might not consider him to go as far as he may do, but I really do feel like he could be very good. And just look at the size advantage he has on Pete Dunne, not just height, but also width as well. And he tries to showcase that with the strength, just pushing Pete Dunne out the way. But Pete Dunne able to fight back with that DDT. And I think it's going to be Pete Dunne's agility and speed which is going to help him here as he just bites away at the fingers of Nikolai Volkoff. Now, of course, the other half of this group is Pete. No, it's not. This is Pete. Is Miro and Otis. And they'll be playing their first match tomorrow. Which will be our 2 PM UK time match. Whatever that is in your funky countries. But basically it'll be the same time as the video of Killian Dane and Cesaro was uploaded earlier today. Pete Dunne now sending Volkoff into the corner, runs in with a big boot, but I think Volkoff just about got out the way. I think he caught a little bit of it, but I believe that Volkoff was able to avoid most of it. And Volkoff now working over Pete Dunne, big boot in the face. Big uppercut there by Pete Dunne again. Dragging Volkoff across. Volkoff, of course, one of the Russian team. We do have that as a stable. We've not really utilised it as of yet. We do have that as a stable. Maybe when we come around to doing the pay-per-views at the end of this, we'll be able to do them sort of things, maybe. Volkoff now knocking Pete Dunne over and rolls him into the Boston Crab. Pete Dunne struggling, and Pete Dunne does have the strength to flip Volkoff out. And now booting on the back of the kneecap of Volkoff, and a big knee strike in the face as well. And Volkoff firmly in control of Pete Dunne now, wrenching back at the neck and the chin. And like I said, Volkoff, somebody that people might be writing off. People might be thinking, oh, Pete Dunne and Miro is going to get this. But Volkoff is a very, very strong competitor. I think Otis might struggle. I'm not quite sure Otis is going to have the power to defeat these other people. We'll see just how competitive Otis is tomorrow, I suppose, when he faces off against Miro. And of course, Miro representing Bulgaria. One of my favourites to go and win the whole thing, really. Then again, there's a lot of favourites to win the whole thing. We've got Walter from Austria, is incredible as well. Cesaro, McIntyre, both really good. Pete Dunne, of course, former European champion, former SWE champion. There was an X-Plex there by Pete Dunne. Of course, we've already seen Jay White for New Zealand win the Invitational, come into it. Got Alistair Black in there as well. We got very into it. We've got Finn Balor for Ireland as well. So we've got a very interesting group that we should see some very interesting matches and some big points, as there is the bitter end by Pete Dunne. Is that a bitter end for Croatia and Volkoff? It is not yet. Pete Dunne can't believe it, but this match will continue on. Pete Dunne gets a boot right in his kneecap from Volkoff, who takes Dunne up. And, oh, wow. Just knees him in the guts before slamming him down. And Volkoff really showing some incredible strength. And now trying to lock in. It looked like a bear hug. But Dunne was able to break free. And Dunne looking very impressive here himself. There's the big forearm. And he's looking for, again, another bitter end for Nikolai Volkoff for the 1, 2, and the 3 count. Pete Dunne, massive victory for him. He picks up the win in what is a very, very important match. Like I said, I feel like this one's going to be pretty close between Volkoff, Dunne, and Miro. And getting the first point on the board for Pete Dunne is incredibly important. Pete Dunne's next match in this group will be against Otis before finishing off the group against Miro, which is going to be what I would imagine a cracking match. So there we go. Pete Dunne victorious in our third and final match of the day. This is a big win. Very big win. It took 2 bitter ends and an X-Plex to finally finish off Volkoff. Who, like I said, I think he's a dark horse in this one. I still would not write him off. He had a very good performance here, even though coming out on the losing side. But to say, Pete Dunne, former SWE champion, former SWE European champion. This guy's a force to be reckoned with. He really is. Anyway, we're going to leave it there for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Of course, if you have, hit the like, subscribe, with other good stuff, and we'll see you again tomorrow for our first match of Group D, or both our matches from Group D, and the final match from Group C. So we've got Miro versus Otis tomorrow, and we'll have Marcel Barthal versus Vladimir Kozlov, before we'll see Walter go one-on-one against A-Kid in a final match of the day. Right. Good night. God bless. Auf Wiedersehen. See you next time. Bye-bye.